This Ridley O sponsored by friends of BitcoinStore.com.
Does your gun laws in South Korea force you to use more U.S. troops? Do they make you more reliant on us, too reliant?
That's Chuseok-yoon from South Korea's embassy. He's afraid to even talk about the idea of South Koreans being able to defend themselves as individuals. And today, events along the border gave us a little bit of insight as to why he might be this way. A group of people who are actually against the North, Northern defectors and American human rights activists, planned a balloon launch to drop leaflets behind the lines. But guess who stopped them? Or it wasn't the wicked North Koreans, it was South Korean police. And who was behind the South Korean police? Well, to some extent, it was the people who live in the area, the Stockholm Syndromites. Local residents of these border areas have, supposedly, opposed leaflet launches. They think, and they could be right, that the North Koreans are so bad they might launch weapons in retaliation. So, let's just do what they tell us. This is another example of how government gets in the way of people who are actually trying to bring down totalitarians. They present themselves as the defenders of the West against North Korea, the defenders of the South. That's what the South Korean president will tell you. He's there to protect you from the North Korean president. But look what he does when someone actually tries to do something about the North. It was the same problem here stateside when Bosnia was blowing up. Oh yeah, we're the people who might intervene and save some Bosnians in 3 years. But for now we're just going to ban everybody in America from helping the Bosnians with weapons. Average citizens were restricted in what they could do. One question I have that the mainstream media will not have about this is, to what extent were these South Korean police who were stopping leaflets funded by U.S. tax dollars? How much did you pay to help protect the North from information? My God, if you're that scared of having your house bombed by someone, well then you sell your house, you leave your house, and you become a fighter against that institution. Maybe not a violent fighter, but maybe a balloon launcher. If you're a government, you at least don't get in the way of people who, if you're a democratic government claiming to defend your people, you at least don't get in the way of your people when they try and go after your enemies. You don't do what the American government did in the 70s and 80s to some extent, funding the Soviet Union, sending them wheat, subsidized, artificially keeping them afloat with indirect U.S. tax dollars, actively speaking out against Hungarians who might rise up, as they did in '56, to the sound of American backstabbing. No, you at least get out of the way. This is why, supposedly, you can't conquer a country that doesn't have a government. You got to have a government to conquer a country, right? And supposedly Ireland was unconquerable until it had a government. I guess it was the Germanic tribes north of Rome under Vercingetorix were not conquerable until they were under Vercingetorix. I hope I'm saying his name right. One militia in Somalia defeated the United States Army in 1993. There was no clear government doing the job. A militia did it. It was only the third war, if you want to call it that the Americans ever lost. I'm counting Beirut and Vietnam as the other two. Nazi Germany successfully decapitated every small country in the area, except Switzerland, because of the fact that Switzerland did not have clear government control over its military. Even the military leaders did not have clear control over their soldiers. The idea was, Henri Guisan's famous speech where he told his soldiers to disobey any orders that seemed to come from any government authority that was telling them to surrender. Such orders were automatically to be assumed as enemy propaganda. That spirit, that approach cannot exist in a country with a big top-down government. And South Korea, though it's better than North Korea, has such a big top-down government. There have to be actors out there that aren't controlled by the central authority. For you to have a country that is dangerous to totalitarians, to invaders. Well, you don't have to have that, but it's better. This has given me a lot of thoughts about hostage situations, too, and maybe I'll just have to articulate those in a separate video. But for now, the South Korean police, the apparent helpers of Kim Jong-un, just help me prove my points. And they help you waste more tax dollars. This Ridley O, sponsored by friends of BitcoinStore.com. 500,000 items for sale, often cheaper than Amazon. The easiest way to convert your bitcoins into real-world stuff. They're privacy-friendly. You don't even have to give your name. BitcoinStore.com.